February 16, 2003, 5:30 a.m. A security guard in Antwerp descends 2 floors underground to check the Diamond Center vault. He enters his code. The 3-ton steel door swings open. Inside, 160 emptied safe deposit boxes, diamond dust scattered across the floor, and a single piece of half-eaten salami sitting on the counter. $100 million in diamonds. Gone. And the tools they used to do it? You probably have them in your bathroom right now. No alarms triggered. No cameras tripped. No guards saw anything. The vault had been sealed all weekend. And yet someone had walked in, spent hours cracking 160 boxes, and walked out carrying more wealth than most banks hold in cash. The Antwerp police had one question. How? Here's what they didn't know yet. The men who did this weren't criminal masterminds. They weren't government agents. They were 5 guys from Turin, Italy, a locksmith, an electrician, a mechanic, and their leader, a man who sold fake jewelry to tourists. And the most advanced piece of tech they used to defeat $100 million worth of security. A $5 can of Aquanet hairspray. The Antwerp Diamond Center wasn't just secure. Engineers calculated the odds of a successful break-in at 1 inch 10 billion. Here's what the thieves were up against. Antwerp, Belgium, the diamond capital of the world. 80% of the world's rough diamonds pass through this city, and the Diamond Center is where dealers store their inventory between trades. The vault sits 2 floors below street level, encased in reinforced concrete. Getting to it requires passing through 10 separate security systems. Layer 1, motion detectors in every hallway. Move, and they see you. Layer 2, the elevator. Wrong code, 3 times, and the system locks down. Layer 3, the anteroom. Cameras, recording, 24/7. Layer 4, the vault door. 3 tons of steel, magnetically sealed. If it shifts by 1 millimeter, police get an alert. Layer 5, a combination lock with 100 million possible combinations. No electronic override. Layer 6, seismic sensors embedded in the walls. Try to drill or blast through, and they detect the vibrations instantly. Layer 7, Doppler radar, military grade. It detects movement inside the vault, including the rise and fall of a person breathing. If you're alive in there, it knows. Layers 8 through 10, heat sensors that detect body warmth through walls, light sensors that trigger at a single photon, and guards with a direct line to police. The insurance company was so confident, they barely charged premiums. A successful robbery wasn't unlikely. It was mathematically impossible. But here's the thing about impossible. It only stays impossible until someone figures out the workaround. Turin, Italy. 1998. 5 years. Before the heist. Leonardo Notarbartolo runs a small jewelry business. He sells pieces to tourists, appraises stones for dealers. But Notarbartolo has a side job. He's a thief. Not a violent one. Never fired a gun. But he's been stealing since age 14, and by his 40s, he's built a reputation. Patient. Obsessive. And very, very good at not getting caught. One day, a man approaches him. This man, Notarbartolo, never reveals his real identity, claims to represent a group of diamond dealers. They want to rob the Antwerp vault. They need someone to plan it. Why would diamond dealers rob their own vault? Insurance fraud. Some dealers had been crushed by a market crash. If their diamonds disappeared, they could claim the insurance, then sell the stones on the black market. Double profit. Notarbartolo listens. The Antwerp vault has never been cracked. But the man makes an offer. A cut of everything taken. If Notarbartolo can figure out how to get in. One problem. No blueprints exist of the vault's interior. No specs have ever leaked. The system is a black box. No blueprints, after 7. So Notarbartolo does something insane. He rents a safe deposit box. For 3 years, he walks into the vault as a customer, smiles at the guards, studies every camera angle, memorizes every patrol rotation. He even brings a hidden camera disguised as a fire extinguisher to photograph the vault interior. By 2002, Notarbartolo has something no outsider has ever had. A complete mental blueprint of the world's most secure vault. And now he needs a team. He recruits 4 men from his network in Turin. The genius, an electronics specialist who defeated alarm systems across Europe. His job, neutralize every sensor in the vault. The monster, a locksmith who could open any mechanical lock made before 1990. The vault's combination lock was made in 1975. Speedy the driver and muscle, logistics, vehicles, escape routes. The king of keys, he could create a working copy of a key from a photograph. Not a mold, a photograph. 5 men, 0 guns, 0 explosives, and a plan that would take 18 months to execute. The textbooks said the Antwerp vault couldn't be robbed because each security layer required a different skill set. You'd need a safecracker, an electronics expert, a chemist, and a ninja. One mistake triggers the alarm, but Notarbartolo realized something the engineers missed. Every system has an assumption built into it. Every sensor has a blind spot not in what it detects, but in what it assumes can't happen. The Doppler radar? It detects movement. So, what happens if you don't move? The engineers never considered someone would stand perfectly still for 45 minutes. That wasn't a design flaw. That was an assumption flaw. The heat sensors? They detect body temperature. But what if your body isn't exposed? The engineers assumed anyone inside would be walking around, radiating heat in all directions. The genius designed a custom polyester shield, basically a bag that trapped body heat. Wear it like a poncho, and the sensor reads you as background noise. Light sensors. This one was easy. The sensor had a built-in flaw. It ignored anything below 0.5 lumens to avoid false alarms from door leakage. Red-filtered pen lights. Problem solved in 10 minutes. The magnetic seal on the vault door, the one that triggers if the door moves 1 millimeter? They didn't move the door. They tricked the sensor. The genius studied the sensor model. It worked by measuring the magnetic field between the door and frame. If the field broke, alarm. So he built a device that created a replica field matching the original. The door could open 6 inches, and the sensor would read the field as stable. One by one, the team reverse-engineered every layer of security. Not by overpowering it, by understanding it better than the people who built it. But there was one sensor they almost couldn't beat. The heat detector in the vault's anteroom. Unlike the sensors inside, this one was always active. It mapped the thermal signature of the entire room, not just bodies, but surfaces, walls, air temperature. Any change triggered the alarm. The genius studied it for weeks. He couldn't block it without triggering a temperature anomaly. He couldn't disable it without leaving evidence. Then he had an idea. What if he didn't block the sensor? What if he blinded it? The sensor detected infrared radiation heat waves from warm objects. But infrared can be scattered, disrupted, obscured by a thin coating of lacquer, specifically the lacquer in women's hairspray. Hairspray contains polymers that dry into a thin, transparent film, invisible to the naked eye. But to an infrared sensor, that film is opaque. It scatters the heat signature. The sensor sees static instead of shapes. The genius tested it on an identical sensor. 3 coats of Aquanet, applied from 6 inches away. The sensor went blind. No alarm, no error code. It just stopped working. A $5 can of hairspray, defeating a $50,000 sensor. And here's what makes this brilliant. The hairspray doesn't look like sabotage. It looks like dust, like residue, like years of air particles settling on a lens. Inspectors would assume maintenance issue, not breach. By February 2003, the team had solutions for all 10 security layers. They'd spent 18 months preparing. Dozens of reconnaissance visits, copies of every key, custom tools for every sensor. All they needed was a window. Friday, February 14th, Valentine's Day. The Diamond Center closes at 6 p.m. It won't reopen until Monday, 60 hours. At 5:55 p.m., Leonardo Notarbartolo walks in carrying a small bag. He descends to the vault level, walks into the anteroom. A guard nods. Notarbartolo has been here dozens of times. He's a regular. Tonight, he doesn't leave. He hides in a utility room until the guards finish their sweep. At 8 p.m., the building goes quiet. He moves to the vault level and opens a service door. The King of Keys had rigged weeks earlier. One by one, his team enters. By 9 p.m., all 5 are inside 2 floors below street level. The security cameras are still recording, but the genius has looped the footage. The monitors show empty corridors. Normal. By 10 p.m., they reach the vault door. The monster approaches the combination lock. 100 million possible combinations. But he has an advantage. Notarbartolo had photographed the lock during a previous visit. The monster studied where patterns on the dial, which numbers had been touched most. He narrowed 100 million combinations down to 1,000. It takes 30 minutes. On attempt 412, the lock clicks. But the door is still magnetically sealed. The genius attaches his device to the frame, activates it. The false magnetic field stabilizes. He nods. And, Notarbartolo grips the handle. 3 tons of steel. He pulls. The door opens. No alarm. They're in. The Doppler radar is active. The men freeze. Not a twitch. Not a breath. 45 minutes. The radar cycles. After 45 minutes of no movement, it enters standby mode, a power-saving feature the engineers added to reduce false alarms. The men move slowly, inches per second, polyester heat shields on. The thermal sensors see nothing. Notarbartolo uses a pen light with red filter. The light sensors don't trigger. They begin opening boxes. The monster picks each lock in under 90 seconds. 160 boxes total. Inside, gold bars, certificates, cash bundles, millions of euros, and diamonds, loose stones, polished gems, rough cuts. They work through the night. Saturday, Sunday. By Sunday evening, they've emptied 160 boxes, bags full. The floor covered in diamond dust residue of stones they couldn't fit. Total haul, estimated $100 million. Some say more. At 3 a.m. Sunday, they leave. Same route, same, looped cameras. By 4 a.m., they're in a van heading toward France. At 5:30 a.m., a guard descends for the morning check. Opens the vault. Empty boxes, scattered dust, half-eaten salami on the counter. He calls the police. For 48 hours, the Antwerp diamond heist was the perfect crime. No fingerprints, no DNA, no witnesses. The footage showed nothing. Police had no leads. 2B. But 72 hours later, a farmer in the Belgian countryside would destroy everything. Speedy the driver was supposed to burn the evidence. He didn't. Instead, he drove to a forest outside Antwerp and dumped the evidence on the side of the road. Not buried, not burned, dumped. Plastic bags full of envelopes, receipts, documents, and a half-eaten sandwich with salami crumbs. A farmer found them the next morning. Inside, hardware store receipts, a phone number, an address in Antwerp, and a videotape. The tape showed the inside of the vault during reconnaissance. The farmer called police. Within 72 hours, detectives traced the phone number to a rental car company. The car was registered to an Italian citizen, Leonardo Notarbartolo. By March 2003, Belgian police raided his apartment in Turin. They found diamond pouches, cash, and a hand-drawn diagram of the vault's security system. He was arrested. So were 3 others. The genius, whose real name was never confirmed, vanished. He's still at large. In 2005, Leonardo Notarbartolo stood trial. He didn't deny it. The evidence was overwhelming. But he told a different story. He claimed the vault was half empty when they arrived. According to Notarbartolo, the dealers who hired him had already removed their own diamonds. The heist wasn't a robbery. It was staged insurance fraud. The team was supposed to make it look like a break-in so the dealers could claim the loss. He said the loot they actually took was worth far less than $100 million, maybe $20 million. The rest? Already gone. Was he lying to reduce his sentence? Probably. But here's what's strange. Police never recovered the diamonds. Not one stone. If the team split $100 million, where did it go? None of them lived like millionaires afterward. The insurance company paid out $100 million. The dealers collected. And Notarbartolo? He got 10 years. The Antwerp vault cost $100 million to protect. It was defeated by a $5 can of hairspray, a polyester bag, and 3 years of patience. The engineers didn't build a bad system. They built a system based on assumptions, and Notarbartolo found every single one. That's the lesson. The most dangerous attackers aren't stronger. They're more patient, and they think in ways you never considered. And, if you're wondering whether someone could pull this off today, vault security has improved. Sensors are smarter, redundancies are deeper. But somewhere right now, someone is renting a safe deposit box, taking notes, asking questions, waiting.